Hassler here. I'm going to work through lesson 5.8 called Got Milk. We have this graph here, and it says the U.S. Department of Labor Statistics keeps track of the prices of common consumer goods. The graph below shows the average price of a gallon of milk in the U.S. from the year 2000 to 2022. An interactive graph can also be found here. And to be honest with you, I tried clicking on the link. I couldn't quite get myself there. So we're just going to take a look at the graph that is printed here for us. I want to take note of some things in this graph. This graph looks like it comes from the source Fred. This blue line, I'm looking right here at this information. This blue line represents the average price of milk, the cost of it in the U.S. city. So again, we're looking at an average, which means that if I'm looking at 2004 per se, the average price of milk in 2004 was just under $3. And so that's what this graph is going to be showing us, the average for that year of the price of milk. Things that I notice, again, about this graph is that I have these shaded regions here, right? Here's a shaded region, here's a shaded region, here's this little tiny shaded region. And down here in the corner, it says shaded areas indicate U.S. recessions. So between the boundaries of those shaded areas, the United States was going through a recession. Your parents might talk about the Great Recession of 2008 and how much it impacted real estate. Real estate dropped down quite a bit. And so things that you might notice during this recession, in particular this recession, is that milk prices also dropped. But what I noticed in this first recession, unfortunately, milk prices were increasing. Okay, so some things that we're noticing about the graph. I also noticed in this graph that it's not a straight line. I do not have a straight line going, showing a constant rate of increase, right? And so it's not like in 2000, I have the cost of milk being this much, and then in 2022, the cost of milk being this much, and that cost steadily increased, right? That is not the case here whatsoever. In fact, question 1 says, describe how the price of a gallon of milk changes over this period of time. The price of a gallon of milk is not changing at a constant rate. It's not going up by 2 cents per year or, whatever the increase is. It's not constant. In fact, even within a year itself, it's not constant. What I notice is that this graph has these little jagged ups and downs. And so I could be on a downtrend, but even in that downtrend, it's kind of up and down. So like I have this downtrend here, but even in this downtrend, I have little spikes, right? Upwards trend, a little bit down, upward spike, spike, down. Okay, so if I'm going to describe how the price of a gallon of milk changes over this period of time, I'm going to say there are spikes. And these spikes indicate that price is going to fluctuate. It's going to bounce up and down. So there are spikes, which means the price fluctuates. Fluctuates means that it's going to bounce back and forth between increasing and decreasing. So increases and decreases over this period of time. Number 2 says, in May of 2018, all right, so we're over here. Notice I have this blue pen pointing to that dot. May of 2018, the average price of a gallon of milk was $2.92. In May of 2022, so looking at my graph, that's this dot over here, the average price of a gallon of milk was $4.20. Now, your paper, if it was printed in class, says $4.02. We need to make a correction. It should say $4.20. So my question is, how much did the price of a gallon of milk increase over this period of time? Well, it's clear it increased. It went from $2.92 to $4.20. And if I want to find how much that increase was, I technically have to find the change between those two numbers. And so if I find the change or the difference between those two numbers, I get $1.28. So to answer the question, the price increased by $1.28. How many months are in this time period? So we have to be careful when we answer this question because this time period goes from May of 2018 to May of 2022. That's 4 years times there's 12 months in each of those years. And so 4 times 12 gives me 48 months. So be careful. The answer is not 4, it's 48 months. And so then C says, did the price increase by the same amount each month? And my answer is no, right? I did not increase by the same amount each month. And this is what I was saying earlier. If I increased by the same amount each month, I would have this perfect straight line, this constant straight line. The thing is, I had this increase and then slight decreases. I had this like fluctuation where I was increasing and then I was decreasing until suddenly I was at $4.20. So no. The graph is not a straight line. Or we can say the graph is not linear between those 2 points. If the graph was linear, I would be changing by the same amount each month. The graph is not linear, so I'm not changing by the same amount each month. I have those spikes that are happening, that fluctuation we mentioned in problem 1. 3 says, sketch what the graph would look like if the price of milk did increase at a constant rate. And just so happens that I did that. That's what I did in this red. I'll take this away. That's what I did in that red line. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to come up and I want you to connect those 2 points with a straight line. That straight line would show a constant rate of change. We didn't have a constant rate of change. Okay, that line would show one. Find the slope of this line, and what do you notice? Okay, well, to find the slope of that line, I need the 2 points, and the 2 points were in 2018, the price was $2.92, and in 2022, the price was $4.20. I'm getting that from my information in part 2, but I can also tell that based off of my graph, right? Based on my graph, May of 2022, I'm at 4.2 or 4.20. May of 2018. 2.92 looks a little low compared to my what's on my graph, but it's close. So we'll take that information from the question 2, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find this slope. And if I do that, 420 minus 2.92 over 2022 minus 2018, and I get actually what I got up above. I got 1.28 over 4. Oh, I guess I didn't do D. Okay, we'll go back and do D. Sorry about that. I get 0.03. So the average change in price is 3 cents per year. So average change is add 3 cents per year. Okay. Let's go back and do D. My apologies. Number 2, part D. On average, how much did the price of milk increase each month? On average, how much did it increase each month? Well, the increase is 1.28 over that period of time. And I'm going to divide that by the 48 months. And when I do that 1.28 divided by the 48 months, I'm going to get that 0.03. And so my apologies. When I come back down here and do that 1.28, I should not have divided it by 4. I shouldn't have done that in terms of the 4. I should have done that in terms of the 48 months since that was the units that we were working in. And that's what's going to give me that 0.03. So it turns out that if I find the average price change and I find the slope of the line that I drew, I get that same slope. We're going to be talking about something called average rate of change. When I have something that is not linear, I can still find the slope between 2 points on an interval. And so I'm going to do a video on the notes page for section 5.8. So I encourage you to watch that video. And if you have questions, let me know.